Welcome back, folks. Second hour of the Mark Montgomery Show, Small Biz Talk Radio, right here on Talk 650 KSTE. We're going to go right to the phones. We have the Anderson Schoech report. Robert Finkle is on the line, and then we're going to give away Capitals tickets. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing this morning?
Well, so far, so good. Didn't want to get up this morning, but, so be it. I did. I made it in here.
I feel your pain, and you had to do it a whole hour earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this morning I'd like to talk about getting back to the basics with Anderson Schoech and statute of limitations in new home construction actions. Generally, a statute of limitations is created by a legislature, and that's our good friends, and it says that you're barred from bringing a lawsuit after a certain amount of time has passed. And being barred by a statute of limitations doesn't mean you weren't injured, your person or your property. It just means that you waited too long, and now you can't pursue a remedy, and that's a big deal. What you want to do is you want to act quickly in any situation where you've got an injury. But in new home construction, the legislature did a fine job of making a statute of limitations that's just as complicated as possible, and that's something new, right?
Yeah, that's what they do good.
They're
very good at that.
They did this very well, as a matter of fact. The way the law used to be, it was very clear. You had 3 years from the discovery of a problem and up to 10 years to file a lawsuit. So if you saw something go on with your home, you had 3 years to act. And once you got over 10 years, it's a no-go. That law recently changed, and if you get a new home that was built after January 1st, 2003, it gets a little dicey. For example, you now have a 1 year from the close of escrow to file a lawsuit for defects to irrigation systems, but 2 years to sue for issues with landscaping. Now, you'd think those are pretty interconnected. You have 2 years to sue for issues with regard to wood fencing, but 4 years if you have an issue with the steel or composite fencing. And every homeowner knows that difference, right? You get 4 years to sue for defects to plumbing or electrical issues, and driveway or concrete and flatwork issues. 5 years for exterior paint, but only 1 year for fit and finish items like interior paint, cabinetry, mirrors, and flooring. The same. Thankfully, they did keep one thing the same. The outside 10-year statute still applies. So once you're 10 years out, you're out of luck. I don't know. Were you taking notes? Did you get all that down?
Of course I did, Robert.
Okay, so
got it right here.
I won't give you a pop quiz, but I will say that I really just wanted to bring up this topic this morning because I wanted to show how incredibly complex it is to go it on your own if you're having issues with your new home builder. Anderson Schoech has been navigating these issues since the late 70s, or Clayton has. I haven't been around that long. But he has, and if you're having issues with a new home builder, you should contact us for a free consultation. Our phone number is 916-569-1940, and you can reach us on the web at norcallawfirm.com.
Robert, I have a real quick question for you. You mentioned like mirrors and fixtures, that type of thing, and you had 1 year? Am I correct on that?
That is 1 year. Now, that's actually it's laid out in a separate statute, and that's a requirement. And I worked in the home building industry before I became an attorney, and it was fairly standard for the industry to give a 1 year fit and finish express warranty. Fairly standard. Not everybody gave it, and some even gave longer ones. But that was changed for that January 1st, 2003 law. It's actually statutorily mandated that every new home purchaser get that 1 year fit and finish.
But I have a question on that, Robert. Now you say these statute limitations normally, does that start from like that 1 year? Does the statute of limitations start from a discovery of a problem or just from the close of escrow?
They all run from the close of escrow.
Ah, okay.
Right. So that's a little bit rougher than it used to be because the homes last a long time. They're long-term investments, and problems sometimes pop up later down the road.
Exactly.
And if you get a problem with your electrical system and it's a little bit later down the road, you're done. You can't do anything about it. That's 4 years. And I think sometimes these issues can pop up a little later in time.
Well, absolutely, because, take a mirror as an example. I mean, it could be anything, but let's say that you decided you're a year down the line and you decided, to clean the mirror, or something. And you push on it and it falls off the wall and you find out it wasn't mounted properly, kind of thing now. And maybe
you're toast.
Yeah, and that just kind of surprises me a little bit. So now, if somebody was injured, I suppose you could file a suit based on the injury, or something, I guess, couldn't you?
Yeah, because that would turn into a personal injury style lawsuit, and I believe that's 3 years.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But again, it's critical that if you're having problems in any situation to immediately pursue your remedies. I'm not saying that you automatically go to a lawyer and file a lawsuit, but you really need to follow up, and you really need to try to get the problem resolved as soon as possible. And if you do find pushback, you do need to give us a call.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole key. Is don't just think that you're defeated, that it's over with. They really should be, contacting you and finding out what the story really is. So that's what this is all about, really, is they need to find out what their rights really are.
And it's not in the interests of the builder to necessarily give out what your rights are. And, they won't necessarily lay out what I just did. And let you know you need to move quickly. They sometimes will stall you a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been through that.
Yeah,
I know how that works. Hey, Robert, I want to thank you for the report. We're going to give away a couple of tickets, of course, to the Capitals match coming up this next Wednesday, and courtesy of the Anderson Schoech Law Firm. So I want to thank you for that.
Definitely, it's always a fun time to go to that tennis match. Yeah, I've enjoyed it myself a few times, and I hope your listeners have fun with it.
Yep, same here. Hey, thanks for the report.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Have a great weekend, Robert.
You do the same.
And that was Robert Finkle with the Anderson Schoech Law Firm.